We live? All right. Hi there, all you cool internet people. I'm here with my friend. What's your name, honey?
My name is Camryn George.
Awesome. How old are you?
11.
Cool. My name's Emily Kinney. I am the human being who wrote this awesome novel here, The Island of Lote. And in an exciting turn of events that doesn't happen often, I'm actually here with someone who has read the book. And she has agreed very kindly to sit down with me and answer some questions I might have, because I always love hearing about how the reader responds and what they think of everything. And I think other people enjoy that too, because it gets them thinking, maybe I should read this as well, and maybe I'll have the same thoughts. So Cammy, you ready to answer some questions?
Yes.
All right. I love the attitude. It's so gung-ho. Okay, so just kind of a quick overview. How do you know me, Cammy?
Well, we go to the same church, and we have been friends ever since we met each other here. So, yeah.
It's just an instant connection.
Yes.
I thought that you were adorable, but you were
thank
you were really little.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're here now because you read The Island of Lote, correct? Is reading something that you enjoy?
Yes, I really like to read. It's really one of my favorite things to do, either that or swimming.
Me too. A hot day out reading or swimming.
Yeah.
Always something you gotta choose between. And it's something you do on your own, not just because school said you gotta read Old Yeller over the weekend or anything like that?
No, I like to read by myself, really down in my basement bedroom. It's comfortable, and I love to get into the character.
That's great. Great to pay attention to characters. What kind of books do you enjoy reading?
Well, I really like to read more mixed of romance, adventure, and drama.
That's great. And why do you like those kinds of books?
I don't know, they just really are adventurous and, like I said, romantic and drama. And I really like to get into the characters and just really like the books in themselves, the storyline.
You like the drama? You like the intensity of what's going on?
Yes.
It's nice.
I like to not know what's going to happen next.
Suspense.
Yeah.
Keeps you guessing. It's nice. Okay. So, can you give me just a brief description of the plot of The Island of Lote?
So, in the beginning, it's just Milo, a girl who has never had any friends since she moved from her first house that burned down, and she gets really bullied at her newest house, and she flies on a plane, but it lands in the ocean because it was on fire. And then she meets a boy, Simon, who doesn't speak English, but he asks her to marry her, and on accident she says yes. And then really she has to spend a long time there, and she continues on there, and she doesn't know how to get through, but soon enough she likes it there.
Alright, that's cool. It's kind of a good brief description. It's not giving away too much.
Yeah.
I think readers want to know what happens. You said that she accidentally says yes to marry a boy named Simon.
Yeah. And she's not happy, but she's forced to do it because of the island laws. She's forced to marry him, even though she did not want to. It was not her choice, and she's only 14, so.
That is a very good point. What did you think when you read that she was 14 and she had to marry someone?
Like, that is not a good rule. Why would you do that? But they said in the book that the islanders were fine with it because it has been down for generations. But I was like, wow, that would be really a bit of a shock, and like, really, I'd be mad at that if I were Milo.
I know. And what I liked when I wrote about Milo was that she kind of, if she's mad, she says she's mad. Do you think
she kind of stands out, and she knows what her emotions are most of the time, and she tells everybody who's around her.
And I don't know about you, but I grew up being taught that you behave yourself.
Yes.
So
yeah.
So that's why I enjoyed writing a character that didn't do that at all and got to be as angry as she wanted to be as much as she could. But as a young person, did you feel her outrage at the idea of marriage?
Yeah.
Because I wrote it when I was 14, and the idea of marriage to me was so big and crazy that I could understand how someone might feel about that.
Yeah, that would be crazy dramatic if you were only 14 and you had to marry somebody. So
And you made a good point about they wanted to do it because the law has been done for generations.
for generations.
And they were just fine with it.
And they were fine with it because it was generations and they were all used to it.
Do you think a lot of traditions are like that these days? We just do it because we keep doing it. Doesn't make it okay though?
Yeah. Say that, but there's a lot of people who stand up against it if it's not really right.
Right. And those are some brave people, right? Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So what did you think overall? What was your impression of the entire book?
I loved it. That was one of my impressions. But also how it went from her hating Simon to liking him in the end was really good. I liked that. And all the adventures in the middle.
All right. So how long did it take you to read it?
So around 2 weeks because I continued reading it every day. I liked it so much that I wanted to see the ending, so I continued reading it for like 3 hours each day. So
that's awesome. That's good brain work, right?
Yes.
To sit down and make your brain exercise. What was your favorite part?
That was a hard one. My favorite part was probably when Simon sang to her and she started to like him and broke down the barrier between them.
Oh, that's really sweet. I think you're a romantic at heart.
Yeah.
No matter what your father says. Just kidding. I love you, Ricky. All right. Who was your favorite character?
My favorite character was probably either Milo or Asha.
And who's Asha?
She was the daughter that she was forced to have because in another one of their traditions and laws were that you have to adopt a daughter if you were, or not a daughter, a child if you were a teenager. So she had to adopt her, and she wasn't a motherly person, so she didn't really know how to respond to that. Yeah.
Well, Asha's a really cool
She
character.
was really nice to her, though, so she didn't want to be mean to her or anything. She was really nice to her, so she was nice and helpful to. She was kind of a person. What is it called when a person tells between two languages?
She's an interpreter.
Interpreter. Yeah, she was an interpreter, so she helped them understand each other.
That's cool. And that's kind of a big responsibility for a little girl.
Yeah, especially when they were arguing. It was really big because she was only like 6 or something. So it would be really hard for her if she tried to interpret her parents helping them argue. So.
And you think that's kind of why she's one of your favorite characters?
Yeah, because she had to go through a lot, and she was very nice to Milo and Simon through the whole time.
Did you learn anything from the book? I did try to put gems in there.
Well, I learned a lot about how you have to work with your situation and how you try to lean to whatever is happening around you.
That is a good thing to learn from it. And you're absolutely right. I think that's something a lot of people don't really try to do anymore. They try to say, I want the situation different, instead of learning how to
You have to
deal
try
with
to
it.
work with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make the best of what you've got.
Did you learn anything about forgiveness and acceptance?
Well, yeah, that's probably what you were trying to teach me.
I'm just curious.
But yeah, it's a lot about how you get really angry, but if you give the person a chance and if you see what's actually on the inside and that they didn't actually mean for you to be hurt or anything, that you have to try to forgive. And she said in the book, she said, I will forgive, but I won't forget. But you got to try to do both of those.
Absolutely. I'm so impressed that you remembered that. What do you think other kids will like about this book?
All the action and stuff in it, how she goes from being no friends at home and she was a nobody, and then she's like the main event of the whole island. When she crashes in the plane, she gets the main event of the whole island because she's such a dramatic person, and she outbursts so much. Yeah.
But she's also kind of fun, right?
She's
kind of a wacky person.
And she loves to cook, which she's really good at.
All right. Do you think it's important for people to read?
Yes, I really like to read. I think it's really good to read. It helps your brain and helps to learn more words, and words that you didn't know. You can ask your parents or whoever's around you what the word means, and then you learn a lot of new words from the book.
That's very true. Do you think it's a good way to communicate with each other? Say if I didn't understand you, but you wrote down something that made me understand you better.
Yeah, sometimes you have to like make up. So you ask the person who you're having trouble with, like you say your friend had a trouble with it, and then make up different names for the people so that they can tell you their answer without actually being you.
That's great. If you had to convince someone who didn't like to read a book, what would you say to them?
That's a hard one. I'd probably be like, okay, read one of my favorite books, and if you don't like it, you don't have to read anymore. But if you like it, then I would be like, you should read more books, and I would tell you more about different kind of book that I like and stuff.
That's good. I like that. So, were there any questions on your end about the Island of Lote that you were either curious about or weren't quite sure on, a little foggy about?
Not really. I actually understood most of it. I don't think I had any really questions, and they were only really small ones, and I don't really remember them, but I don't really think I had any.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad it was so clearly spoken. I spent a lot of time doing that. Thank you so much, Cammy, for sitting down with me. I think that you are a very brilliant, sincere human being, and I am so honored to have this time with you. All right. See you later, Internet people. Be sure to check out The Island of Lote on Amazon, and if you like it, send me an email through my website. So bye, Cammy.
Bye.